Good evening, everybody. It's Monday. Monday. Yeah. Hope everybody's doing well. Got a lot to get into tonight. Got a lot of watching to do, actually. Couple days off. I haven't covered Idaho 4 for a while. It's been quite a while. And NewsNation had a new episode last night. I was going to do that last night, but instead I took the night off again. So I figure we would just do it tonight instead. And probably tomorrow night we will get back into the Stephen Smith case. We'll get back into the Stephen Smith case tomorrow night. And then Thursday and Friday night, it'll just kind of be whatever, open topic, whatever. We'll see what happens. Been definitely missing a lot lately, just with all those dedicated shows for the Stephen Smith case, but we had to give it everything we had, and there's still more to go. Gonna say hey to everybody. What's up, Kevin Kraft? Did you notice I had your logo banner up there at the top right of the screen when I started, man? That's you gotta post that short, man. Or that little video. It's easy. You just upload it. And then you got your thumbnail. Post it, bro. That shit's fire. Did you upload it already, Kevin? Let me know, and we'll show it. Let me go ahead and throw my thing up there. Oh, yeah, we got this tonight. This is a dedicated Idaho 4. I forgot. I haven't used this guy in a while, this top thing in the top right. What's up, Ruckus Rocks Podcast? Thanks for hopping in. And, I threw up the link at the beginning of the stream if anybody would like to sub to Ruckus Rockus Podcast, and I'll throw it up there again. If you're not, go ahead and shoot him a sub. Thanks for hopping in, buddy. Appreciate it. Thanks, Grizz. We'll get to chat here real quick. First, second. What's up, Skittles? Saw you in ATS's stream earlier today. I'm so sorry I can't message people or that much or even see if anybody says hi. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm like ignoring anybody really. Uh, it takes everything I got to post up the links and stuff, but I want to show love to ATS because she shows love to us. So I always want to make sure I can sneak over real quick before I hit the button at work and go to my clipboard and paste real quick. So I don't want anybody to think I'm ignoring them. I'm just busy at work, but I'm there with you, supporting every way that I can. Good evening, Dre. How are you doing? I wish StreamYard would show those damn emojis instead of hand pink waving. Phantom, how you doing? Thank you for your links. We will get to those, my friend. I even thought about having a show one night where I call it Your Links, so we could just get through. Because I feel so bad not being able to get through them all, and I think I need to just have a show where it's just called Your Links, so that way I make sure everybody's covered. Look at all those emojis, all the dancing and stuff. I'm good with just working and hate and pain. You doing okay, Kevin? We're all worrying about you. I appreciated you putting up that little update post that you had up there on your page, letting everybody know that you were doing okay. Because we were definitely all worried about you, man. That fucking bowl flying at your chest looked like it hurt like a motherfucker. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. I'd appreciate it. It's that freeway. SRB, thank you for hopping in, picking up meds and groceries. Please be safe. Drive safe, please. We're going to be chilling back for probably the first hour. We're going to watch that NewsNation special from last night. And then after that, I'll go ahead and open up the panel and the live call. And then we'll just kind of chill back, watch some other videos that came out. And if anybody would like to commentate, you're more than welcome. I just want to make sure that we can chill back and watch this NewsNation. I haven't even checked out the small clips of it yet. I like to save all that for when I hop on with you guys. Keep it fresh. Not the kind of... Yes, what's up? I love the logo too, man. It's a cool logo. Yeah, please like and subscribe if you haven't. And if you're on replay, the link will be put up through chat as the show goes. Antibiotics, no good. Cassie, what's up? Thank you for hopping in. Oh, yeah, we do have a baby update if you'd like me to share that, Cassie. If you like the true crime intro and you're just checking out the show, please hit a like on that true crime intro made by Grismatically Clever. It's just bomb. There he is. I don't know why I just like yelling tonight. Well, you ain't coming up on panel, right? What's up, Kid Kitty? Hope you're doing okay. I hope your day's been okay. Kid Kitty in the building. What's up, Pam? Saw you in the stream earlier in ATS. If I did miss anybody that was in the stream, I apologize. After that, I wasn't able to see shit. What's up, bro? It was up yesterday. Nice. I'm yelling all night for no reason. Oh, and chat. Hey, my Bautismo's cool. He don't yell at you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. My Bautismo's cool. He don't yell at you for typing in caps. So you can yell all night, Kevin. Just not on the mic, man. Yeah, ATS is the queen of YouTube. I love her. She's been supporting me from the first day that I had my first show. She is the best. How's Liberty? Yes. Yes, prayers and heart kisses, Kid Kitty. Thank you, everybody, for hopping in. Rough, but I'm okay. Prayers out to you, Kid Kitty. We're all thinking about you. All right, I haven't thrown the crime tape up for a while. And I feel like throwing it up tonight, so boom. Crime tape is up. Let's shut down the scanner. All right, and I'm going to check out this short video. I wanted to highlight the community first. It's a NewsNation video about the community trying to heal with Kohberger behind bars. With a town that small, the fear is crazy big. And I can still imagine what it would be like to be in that community. This is one thing I don't understand, though. Why I don't know. Maybe I don't understand, but I don't understand why they're demolishing the house so quick. I don't know. Maybe it's cool. I don't know. I don't know. Wouldn't you want to just, I don't know. I don't understand that. Let me know how you feel about the house being demolished so quick. You think it's a big deal? You think it's not? All right, we'll switch to this video real quick, and then we'll get into that NewsNation. Thank you, everybody, for hopping in.
Behind bars. He's accused of murdering 4 college students in Idaho. NewsNation's Ashley Banfield reports Kohberger has lost a significant amount of weight in jail, suggesting it could be because of his strict vegan diet. She also reports a witness, says Kohberger is seen smiling a lot, like, quote, he has not a care in the world. This comes 4 months after the murders of Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. NewsNation's Alex Capriello is live for us in Moscow, Idaho. And Alex, what is it like there now?
Hey, Nicole, good evening to you. I want to show you this. This is the closest we've ever actually been to this house where the 4 victims were murdered. As you can see, there's been some changes over the past few months. Number one, this industrial heavy-duty fence that now lines the perimeter, as well as these boarded up windows and doors. I've been able to speak to neighbors all day today, and they tell me that there's this great sense of relief now that Kohberger is locked up in jail, albeit it's only about 2 miles from here. But it's that fact alone that allows them to move forward with their lives.
College town, Moscow, Idaho, is healing. 4 months removed from the murders of Kaylee Gonsalves, Maddie Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin.
Hi there.
Hello.
I'm Alex, a reporter for NewsNation.
Their one-time neighbors tell me it feels as if life is returning to normal.
It's a lot nicer knowing that he's going to be put up to trial soon, that he's he's not on the streets anymore. He's not out there. He's in prison, waiting time for his trial. And so it makes everyone feel a lot better.
Security still stands guard at all hours of the day, a fact that reassures students of their daily safety. The home, repossessed by the University of Idaho, is scheduled to be demolished in the future. But that date is still uncertain.
The University of Idaho now is in possession of it. They have plans to demolish it. Do you like that idea?
I do. I hope they keep it up until after the trial, though, so that they can, if they need to, they can collect any further evidence to put him into jail. But afterwards, I hope they demolish it and turn it into something nice for the students.
I was hoping to visit Brian Kohberger.
The Latah County Jail wouldn't allow me inside. There's just been too much public attention drawn to this case. So much so, public court documents now line the windows of the jail for curious onlookers to read the latest on the upcoming trial. I placed a request to speak to Kohberger himself. I'm waiting to hear back from his attorney.
And tonight on Banfield, we have an exclusive for you. We're actually going to take you behind the house. This is a space that's completely off limits to everyone, but I had a chance today to go back there. We're going to show you what's behind the house, that backyard, as well as that door that Kohberger allegedly went inside of before those murders occurred. That's an exclusive tonight on Banfield.
All right, Alex, thank you for that. Thank you for watching.
I mean, we had the 360 orbit tour. Whoever made that, I appreciate that. I believe they're in ATS's stream as well. It's been a long time since we looked at that, but I mean, we pretty much had an idea what the house looked like. The backyard, you know, we went through different drone footage and stuff and had a pretty good idea. Let me see here. 1 second. Breaking. Yeah, that's crazy about the Nashville school shooting there. Prayers to that family. I was watching that while I was working too. I don't know what's up. I don't know what's up these days. Not enough resources. Let me see here. All right, so we'll go ahead and get into this NewsNation video. It's about 40-some minutes. And I feel the same way. Like, I feel like they should leave it up until once that trial's the day it's shit. The minute it's done. You know, have the equipment already sitting there ready to go, fired up, diesel engines humming, and then swoop. I don't understand what's the rush unless it's for the economy.
Hi, hello, welcome to the Sunday special edition of Banfield. I'm so glad to have you here with us. It has been such an incredibly busy week of breaking news, exclusive revelations in the Idaho student murders that we thought it was important to bring you this special report tonight to put together everything that we've collected over the last week so that you won't miss anything if you're following this story. In particular, we were able to find access to a very significant letter that the University of Idaho sent out to the parents of the 4 victims who were murdered at 1122 King Road. And why the letter has been so significant is that because everybody has been wondering, what is the plan for the demolition of that crime, that murder scene? It is a horrendous blight. I think everyone can agree, on the campus and the outer bounds of the University of Idaho. And it has been excruciatingly painful for the kids who are still there, for the staff, for the locals who live there, that house is still standing. And as it stands, it is boarded up with plywood. There is a chain link fence around it. There has been no access to it. A security guard still stands sentinel outside to make sure that no one gets in. So the letter that went out from the university to the parents effectively laid out the protocols for what's ahead, and it is soon. The demolition will be soon, right after the remediation efforts are finished.
I don't
but
understand.
The university wanted to make sure that the family still has another opportunity to retrieve their loved ones' belongings, the things that the kids still have in the house that have been in there ever since the murders took place in November. So we're going to outline all that for you on this program tonight. Not only that, but what it means if the demolition goes ahead / when the demolition goes ahead. Not all the parents are on board. Some of the kids' parents agree that the house should come down, and others don't agree that the house should come down. Some are very worried that if a jury wants to go to the scene of the crime to see and hear for themselves, they won't be able to do that. It does happen in other crimes. We've seen it before. In OJ, they went to 2 scenes, OJ's house and also where the victims were killed. But in this particular sense, it has raised some debate. We're going to talk about that as well. And then Brian Kohberger, if he is convicted of this crime and faces the death penalty, Idaho has made some very profound changes of late. And it is moving fast. That if the death penalty drugs aren't available, the firing squad is. What is that going to look like? How does that get carried out? Just logistically, how do you find the marksman? Who gets the blank? We've got all of that for you on this program. And then, as we like to do, we like to hear from you. We call it Your Theories. We invite you to send in your 30-second on-camera selfies to tell us what you think about certain aspects of a crime, how you think it was carried out, what you think about the prosecution, the defense, or any of the machinations of the case as it progresses. And with this one, hearing that murder scene may soon be razed and demolished, that has a lot of people very concerned about the possibility that a jury visit may not be possible. What that might mean for a conviction or, God forbid, an appeal, as some say. So there's a lot that's on the docket, but I wanted to get for you, word for word, what that exclusive letter from the university to the parents actually said, because it's very thorough, it's very tender, and it's very, very specific. So let's move to the very first story that I told you about, and that was that exclusive letter that we have now obtained that the University of Idaho sent to the parents of all 4 of the victims of the Idaho student murders at 1122 King Road. And it has to do with the future of that home and what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. It's extremely sad because this is it's still a mysterious tomb. If you think about it, so many of the possessions of the kids are still in the home. And the university wanted to address that with the family as well. Not only the plan for the house of demolition and remediation, but also reclaiming what's left. And there is reaction as well from the families, which I'm going to give you in a moment. I was going to read this letter to you, word for word, without any editing. Okay, it begins this way. I am the acting general counsel for the University of Idaho and oversee the legal services for the university. I first want to express my condolences to each of you for the tragic loss that you've suffered. I greatly appreciate the positive manner in which you have interacted with the university in the aftermath of this tragedy. I am writing to communicate to each of you regarding the university's plans for the house at 1122 King Road. As was conveyed to you by Dean of Students Blake Eccles, the homeowner gifted the house to the university with the intent by both parties that it be demolished. Before doing so, we will complete remediation within the house to address biohazards and chemical hazards that exist as a result of the crimes and ensuing investigation. At the completion of the remediation, we intend to have the remediation team gather any items of personal property that do not appear to be contaminated and transfer them to university personnel who will take these items to a secure off-site location for representative members of the families to review and recover items of your family members that you wish to keep. Items not selected will then be properly disposed of. This will not apply to large, bulky items such as sofas, beds, or the like, to the extent that any remain on site. If you have specific items you wish to be on the lookout for, regardless of size, please let me know. If we can locate and retain them for you, we will. We intend to proceed with demolition as soon after completion of the remediation as can be done. We do not yet have a specific date for when this will occur. We will notify you of the demolition date in advance so you are not caught by surprise by media reports. In the interim, we are making every effort to respect the dignity of your loved ones, and our activities will be done outside of media scrutiny as much as possible. The house is currently surrounded by construction fencing. The windows and doors have been securely boarded, and we are not allowing access into the house by anyone not specifically authorized by the university. Anyone authorized to enter the house will be required to agree to strict non-disclosure and will be prohibited from taking photographs or otherwise recording the inside.
This is long.
This communication constitutes the university's formal notice to you of our intention to proceed with remediation and demolition as described above. If you have any concerns with these plans, please contact me by April 3rd of 2023. We will address those prior to proceeding. If you have retained legal counsel, I encourage you to share this communication, notifying you of the proposed plans. You or your counsel may contact the Office of General Counsel via email, that's redacted, or call me at the phone number listed below, which I've redacted, to discuss any concerns or objections that you may have. Once again, I want to express my deepest sympathy and my condolences to each family member. It is my hope that the university's plan to remove the house helps you in your healing. A reply indicating you have received this email would be greatly appreciated. And the letter is signed by the acting counsel at the University of Idaho. So that had to be processed by the family members. They have to either respond, at least to tell them that they've received this email, and then also if they have any concerns about the plans for remediation and demolition, and then if they have any specific items that they would like to point the university to for retrieval. I think you'll probably remember on December 7th, the last time that personal items were taken out of the house, we were present. And it was such an incredibly solemn moment. This was a law enforcement action. They took the personal items out of the house and they walked those items one by one out to a truck so that they could transport it to a waiting warehouse where the families could come and retrieve them. I think we have some video from back on December 7th.
Is that when
and I'll
the
tell you
chief
what, when
was
they brought
driving
out the
the U-Haul?
boxes and the suitcases and the golf clubs
Yeah.
and the bags of clothing and loaded it
remember
into the
this.
U-Haul.
Yeah.
It was such a sad moment. I'm going to play this
Yeah.
for you,
It was.
but I want you to just
Thank
know
you,
what's
Ava.
happening outside the purview of the camera. The media stayed a long way back on the other side of the road to shoot this, but nobody spoke. The media didn't speak. No one asked
Beds.
questions. The officers who were bringing those items out to load up the U-Haul truck, it was dead
Oh my
silent.
gosh.
It was so solemn.
It
So I'm going to
was.
run that moment for you, but just know that we are running it with the existing
It was
natural
sad.
sound. It's just that it was so quiet in observation. Take a look.
Well, yeah, it was sad. We're watching them bring out items, you know? That's going to their parents. Of course it's quiet.
That was a day that was observed by our senior national correspondent, Brian Enton, who was among the media representatives, staying across the street and watching, observing, but out of respect, staying quiet. Brian, that was such a difficult time. I had thought that all the items were brought out of the house, and here we learn that there are still more. Do you have any idea how they'll set up this next transfer of property?
Yeah, it was very, very sad, Ashley, just because
Yeah.
we had been so into the investigation of the case at that point, and it was just a very human moment then seeing the victim's items brought out. But you'll notice the U-Haul truck, which the police chief was driving, by the way, and it was
Right.
police officers who were working the case who were bringing the
Right.
items out, so it was emotional for them too. But you'll notice that U-Haul, it wasn't a very big U-Haul,
No, it
so it
wasn't.
clearly wasn't all of the items that belonged to the kids inside the house. It was just some of them. Which explains
1995.
why there are more items in the house and why likely the families are going to want to retrieve some more of those items. So, couches, we did see the mattresses come out at one point, but couches, other pieces of furniture, all sorts of stuff. Again, you see how small that U-Haul was. You can just imagine all the other items that are still left behind there.
Whoa.
So, Brian,
Whoops.
on December 30th, that was the day that Brian Koberger was arrested. Within hours of his arrest, his public defender, Ann Taylor, put out a request to stop all remediation, all cleaning. And at that time, I remember us seeing these privacy curtains going up, and it looked as though they were going to empty out, big items, and then that immediately stopped. But there were big items that were still unloaded. What was the progression of that? And what happened with whatever was taken out of the house after the video we just showed?
What?
Yeah, so there was that initial time where you just saw where the chief of police backed the U-Haul in and they took out a number of the personal items and then returned those to the families. Then there was another time that they went to the house and
Right.
started removing other items. The mattresses were really the most visual thing that we could see. They were putting them in the back of pickup trucks. They
Right.
were
That
really
was-
starting to clear out the house, or at least start the
I'm gonna
process
go
to do
ahead
that.
and
And that is when they
extremely-
immediately halted it.
yeah.
The public defender
Figure out
asked.
to let me. There we go. Just gonna pause it. Yeah, that was the worst part of seeing these when we were covering this case way back then. That was actually this case, I believe. I'm trying to remember right. It was either I started my show the weekend before it happened or the weekend that it happened. is when my show started, and we instantly started going into this case in Delphi. And yeah, it was sad seeing all these videos and stuff, especially the one he's talking about, the one with the mattresses and stuff. Those were hard. Those were hard to watch. Yeah, they didn't bring out much. That's right, Jinx. What's up, Cherry Cherry? Thank you for hopping in. Yeah, those were the worst parts. Yeah, Dre, it was back in, if you go back to the first shows, it was like the first month and a half. There's a lot of Delphi and Idaho 4 stuff like that last November. Yeah, I leave them up there, so if anybody's ever, like, last night I didn't do a show, hell, go back and start episode 1. And then, shit, I'll leave them up there. Man, it's been a lot. I always thought, like, man, maybe I should chill back one night and do a show where we just watch the first show, watch how shitty I am. But I'm trying to get better every day. All right, back to this video. Thank you, everybody, for hopping in. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for your company.
Asked for it all to be stopped, which is really, really interesting because they were in the middle of doing it and they just shut the whole thing down. Exactly what was going on behind the scenes was still sort of unclear. It appears perhaps the public defender wanted an opportunity to really look through the house before things were moved around too much. But all of that stuff before they could get it out was left inside, which again explains why they now have to go through this process now and remove all the additional items from the house.
Can understand that. I want to end our discussion just with an answer that the university gave us when we asked if this is officially no longer a crime scene, because we have not had that announcement made by the police that it was it a crime scene and has the title transferred. And they kind of gave us a half answer, Brian. Do you have the letter in front of you, the executive director of communications?
Yeah, I have the quote here. And essentially they said that it is no longer a crime scene, but basically said the house has been fully transferred to the university. We are able to proceed with our plans to demolish at this point. All parties are aware of our intentions to demolish the building as quickly as possible. And obviously you read the letter, so we know the families received that letter, but it is officially no longer a crime scene. You see it's boarded up. There's still a security car outside, but it fully belongs to the university now. They've said they want to destroy it by the end of the semester. And it seems that that's really like imminent at this point.
Hard to parse it. They didn't give us a really clear no longer a crime scene, but they did say we are able to proceed with our plans, which would indicate that it's no longer. Brian Enton, thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ashley.
So some of the family members have told me they are very upset with the concept of the demolition taking place before the trial. They are concerned that if the jury wanted to go to the home.
Pause it one more time to respect the content creator. Dumb me, I was sitting there waiting for and thanks for watching the NewsNation video. Please subscribe. Trying to stop it before YouTube attacks me. I don't know. It seems like they're worried. It seems like they're worried about the economy over there. Get rid of it as soon as possible so people will try and forget, so that way they'll want to enroll at the university and then spend their money at the local businesses, which I totally understand, local businesses, small businesses. But why the rush? Do they have to do they have to offer the public a reason? Why so quick? Or is it just kind of, you just have to deal with it because we're going to do whatever we want? I don't understand. I would think to respect the victims and the families, you would want, and even the community, you would want to have every opportunity possible available at your disposal when it comes to your prosecution, like all cards on deck. You get rid of the house, you're missing a card. Like, you're missing a frickin' card out of the deck. Who wants? I don't know. I don't get it.
Home to take a view for themselves, listen for themselves, look for themselves between rooms, etc., that they won't be able to do that. So several of the family members said that they were concerned about this and that they actually reached out to the prosecutor about it to ask that it not happen. Other family members have said that's not how they feel. So there is a split among family members about this potential demolition. And I only say potential because a court can always come in and compel. And I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But first, I want to bring in a couple of people who know a lot about how the public is responding to this. Christine Cameron and Alina Smith are the moderators of a very popular Facebook group, University of Idaho Murders Case Discussion. The group members, and I think, ladies, I think you're past 250,000 group members on the Facebook group. They have a lot of different opinions about not only the various aspects of the investigation and the prosecution of Brian Kohberger, but they also have a very deep concern for the families who've been left behind. So, Christine Cameron and Alina Smith, I'll put this out to you, Christine, first. What do you think that the general consensus is about the house coming down among your group?
I think that most of the students on our page feel that the house is creepy. It's spooky. They don't like walking by the house and the constant daily reminder. They say it's triggering and they can't heal and it's difficult to move on. And many members on our page agree with their sentiments. However, the flip side of this is many worry about the ramifications of tearing down the house prior to the trial.
Yes.
So, Alina.
So what do you do? So what do you do in that situation? That's an interesting question. That's an interesting question. The community wants it down right away. But to be playing with a full deck of cards in a trial, you want your full deck. Wow. That's a question. The school wants it down and move on. Neighbors are upset that is it attracting. Yeah. That's true too, Ava. Yes. Very good point. Man, what do you do? How can you preserve it for trial, but why don't you build something around it? Right? The trial's not going to be probably it's just pre-trial coming up. I mean, hell, it's going to take a while. Why not build something around it with some wood? Just a wood box to preserve it. I mean, why not? You're preserving it from the weather. And then it wouldn't look like the house. And then you preserve it anyway. I think it's more disretributed. Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting question. If the university tears it down after the trial and makes a park memorial, that's what I was saying. Exactly. At least give them a memorial. I I even thought of the idea, Ruckus, about like having like 4 swings or something. You know, every little kid loves to get on a swing. Hell, even us adults like to get on swings. Each one named after them. People need to put their own personal back burner for the justice. That's true. That is true, Jinx. I think they need to protect it better and preserve it for its money, but I'm thinking build something around it, right? Then it looks different. You're protecting. It has an outer shell, so you're protecting it from any kind of elements that's going to take place over a few years. You can have somebody come in there and maintain it or whatever. And then the community doesn't see the house. They just see a box. Right. Out of wood. You know? And just maintain it, and hell, you're protecting it from all the elements. It's a positive, positive. Positive, positive, positive. Community case protection. All right, we'll get back to this. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out.
To jump in on that point, what do they say? What are their specific concerns about the demolition prior to trial?
Hi, Ashley. I agree with Christine. That is the biggest consensus on our page. And everybody's saying that, I mean, it's pretty split, but I think most of it, it's like 60% towards have them leave it for the trial because, I mean, if you think back to all the other trials like OJ and even Moselle, Casey Anthony, they wandered and looked at the sites of the crime scene, and you know, it's a lot to see the visual part of it, and it helps with the jury decision. And I think I was actually very surprised when you said that they don't consider it a crime scene. I did not know that. So when you said that just now, I was like, oh my gosh, to me that's shocking. So I think that was too premature, and that needs to be reconsidered. And like you mentioned, they can still, attest this in court, and I hope they do, because very important.
I have to say, honestly, I am parsing the words of the university as we spoke with them, and I was not 100% clear on it, because it literally says this: the house has been fully transferred to the university, and we are able to proceed with our plans to demolish at this point. They didn't answer the specific question we had, which was, has it now been declared free from being a crime scene? I just assumed that that's what that meant. We are able. So it's still, I think it's still up in the air with nuance. I'm not 100% sure, but I do want to ask you, Christine, jump in on this. We had reporting from the parking lot that there were kids coming by and doing TikTok dances. I mean, and not just once, that it was a repeated affair. There have been plenty of looky-loos, crime tourists who have come. Some of them are really quite lovely, and they leave a memorial or flowers behind. Others, pose and drive by, take pictures, and then, of course, the TikTok dancers. How does your group weigh in on what they're seeing in terms of the activity?
They dance in front of the house?
Ashley, I think that this case has been so big that so many people are interested and invested in this story, and unfortunately they want to be a part of it. And seeing the house, walking by, making videos, it's gross, it's disrespectful, but everybody, whether it's positive or negative, wants to be a part of this. And I would say that a majority of the people on our page don't condone that. They don't think that that's respectful in any way, shape, or form.
It is. And it's shameful. It's not just disrespectful and gross. It is so shameful, right?
Taking down the house, I also feel that it only benefits Brian, because removing this so prematurely, you don't know what, the jury would want to see.
Yeah. I have only about 10 seconds left. Is there consensus among your group about what they'd like to see happen with the actual real estate, with the site?
Yes, so we did put that question out there, and I did want to mention the best idea that I read, and it was a satellite station for campus police or local police, and to include a center for personal safety education. And I thought that was a great.
That is delightful. And thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. And thank you to your Facebook member that posted that. And I also want to thank the two of you for being, what's that?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. There were a ton of
No, go ahead.
ideas that were, but we thought this was by far the best one that we read.
It's excellent. And I also want to commend the two of you for being so incredibly respectful and keeping this discussion
Reminds
group
me of
civil.
open panel.
I know that it's been difficult at times. So thank you for doing the work that you've done and allowing people to share. They care. A lot of them really care a lot.
Thank you. We definitely tried. It's been very testy the last couple of months, and it's because there's not been a lot going on. And, you know, once the hearing comes up and hopefully the trial, there, you know, we'll be back on track and keep things a little bit more serious.
Well, it's nice to speak with you both in person. Thanks for doing this tonight. Appreciate it. And I hope we have a discussion in the future too.
Thanks for having us on, Ish.
That's awkward.
There is a raging debate across this country.
That's
and it's
awkward.
almost 50-50 for and against the death penalty. But if there is a death penalty, there's an even bigger debate on how to carry it out. And Idaho has had the debate and solved it.
What's
They
that?
said that the firing squad will be the backup
What?
if the death drugs aren't available, which means if Brian Kohlberger is convicted of murdering those 4 kids
Isn't there a
in
shortage?
Moscow, Idaho, he could face the death penalty. And if the sentence
I thought there was
is death, he could face the firing squad. So many questions about how it's carried out.
When did they
Who are the
pass
marksmen? Who gets the blank?
that? I know it was.
Who gets the live rounds?
It's been a long time
Are there
since I
ramifications for
covered this
those who
case.
actually take part in the shooting? And what does it actually look like when they are strapped to the chair? We're going to run through the whole thing for you coming up next.
Man,
So I'm going to give you a warning right off the bat on this segment. If you
A
are
warning.
squeamish,
Oh, about firing squads. I thought they said like a long time ago when we were. I mean, maybe it changed, but didn't they say that they were like there's a shortage on like 2 chemicals or something for the lethal injection? Has anybody heard anything going around about the chemicals for it? I'm just curious. And they better be damn fast. It's not a shortage, it's the pharma company. That's I always love your points of view, Ava. I do. I heard it was something about a company doesn't like. Huh. Interesting. What's the chemical? Does anybody know what the chemical is? All right, we'll get to this. We're about a little over halfway.
and if you are uncomfortable with talk about violent death and violent death methods, give you a break, give you a chance to turn it down. But I'm about to talk about something that has happened before. It was a choice by an inmate named Ronnie Lee Gardner. And here's how it worked. When he decided he would choose the firing squad, he was hooded and he was strapped to a metal chair. And then there was a target that was taped to his heart. He faced a wall 25 feet away. And behind the wall were 5 anonymous marksmen. Each of the marksmen took a shot at Ronnie Lee Gardner. 4 of them had bullets. 1 of them had blanks. Last night I said it was the opposite, 4 blanks and 1 shooter, but it is actually 4 shooters, 1 blank. And within 2 minutes, Ronnie Lee Gardner was pronounced dead by the Utah Department of Corrections. This is the backup method for Idaho now.
Thank you, SRP.
And this is the way Idaho condemned could end up meeting their fate, like Brian Kohlberger, maybe Chad Daybell, if they're convicted. An Idaho defense attorney says this is inhumane and it is barbaric. Some others say it traumatizes the witnesses or even those who actually are the marksmen and have to carry it out. A certified death investigator we've spoken to says it is the most humane method, actually, because it is number one, fast, and number two, effective. No chance for botching it. And that's not always the case with the drugs. I want to bring in Richard Dieter. He is the executive director of the Death Penalty Information Center, and he's also a civil and human rights attorney. Richard, thanks for being with me. I'm always mixed about this because I have heard horror stories about what we thought was humane, and that's lethal injection. And I hear the opposite about the firing squad.
True,
Where do you
Jinx.
weigh in?
Well, lethal injections have become very problematic in the U.S. They used to be very routine, and people went to sleep and were executed fairly quickly with little controversy. But the drug companies have refused to sell their drugs for these executions.
That's interesting.
And the doctors and nurses don't want to participate in executions as well. So you have a procedure with experimental drugs, unproven drugs administered by people with not the experience you might find in a hospital, but people who work in the correctional facility. So things are not going well with lethal injection. It has its own problems. Of course, being shot is also a rather horrible experience to go through as well, I'm sure.
Can I
getting
ask
stabbed.
you, the method by which you die, if you're shot and the target is over your heart, does it stop your heart or do you bleed out? Because I have heard it both ways, that it took 2 minutes to pronounce Ronnie Lee Gardner dead. And I've heard that it's a bleeding process. It doesn't seem like it would be.
Well, I am no doctor to know that precisely, but I can say that there have been problems with firing squads. They're used occasionally in the military and on battlefields, and sometimes the heart is missed, and of course then it's bleeding out. Or sometimes a person, goes on breathing and, is not quite dead despite being shot. And we know that happens in society outside of the firing squad. So things can go wrong. But I think that the biggest problem
when they put
is
a target on you.
The shock, what we're asking victims' families to go through to watch someone else be shot by 5 people while their family of the person being shot is also standing by, and you blow them away with 5 rifles. That is not going to sit well with anyone, regardless of what happens to the individual, the defendant.
Okay. He fucking stabbed 4 people, bro. Sorry.
Who's the person here?
Right. I suspect we're still, fluid in the death penalty in this country, and it will more than likely end up as a Supreme Court, debate.
What?
But we'll have to have you back, and certainly as this moves its way through Idaho as well. Richard Dieter, thanks so much.
Thank you.
There is clearly so much for Brian Koberger to think about, and it might be a good thing because he is in solitary. He's in protective custody. He is locked up alone. He doesn't have any contact with other inmates in the Latah County lockup. That is in the bottom floor of the Latah County Courthouse. It's only 2,000 square feet or so for all the inmates who are in there, somewhere around 19-ish, give or take, who comes in, who goes out. Brian Koberger doesn't move. Square foot jail. And yet again tonight, a dump of information about things that he is doing inside that jail, how he is changing, how he is behaving. For starters, he is apparently losing weight. We're told by our sources in the jail that he is, over the last, I guess it's now been almost 3 months, right? He went in early January, February, March, has been taking off a significant amount of weight. Maybe that vegan diet not going so well. Maybe he doesn't like the food. Maybe he's trying to lose weight. Whatever it is, he's losing weight. He's also found God or Jesus or I don't know, someone, because he yet again went to mass yesterday, being Sunday. He's allowed to go. It's also a time when he gets human contact, kind of, not really, but kind of, because in the multipurpose room, also known as the library, also known, well, a bit as the gym, but that's changed.
And I'll leave that up if you want to take a screenshot real quick. And it's like Cherry said, why make a lethal drug if it's not going to be used? Isn't there some company out there that can produce it? Just, can't the, you got like I don't know, you got like Kellogg's, and then you got like great value. Can't there be like a great value, but really it's, name brand, but it's a, who's this company? Oh, they only make that chemical. I mean, I don't know. Make like a sister company or something. Exactly, Jinx. That's how I feel. If he's guilty of committing 4 murders, yeah. Oh shoot, he doesn't have the special. Yeah, that diet he has got to be weight loss and that too. Good quotes, Jinx. Right, exactly, Ava. Like, who the hell's that company? And already know that your company's going to get trashed on, right? So it's like, use it as a bonus or something. That wouldn't be enough to sustain a business, huh? Yeah, I know. The way it is these days, right? Ooh, interesting. Oh, you're always coming in here with interesting thoughts. Look at that shit. Now I'm like, yeah. I say hang him if your neck break. Comes out, we just have to know where you're in. That's true too. But if, 25 feet. I don't know. It would be interesting though. I don't know. All right, let's get back to this
He
video.
gets to sit with other inmates for the first time, gets to be in the same room as other people, but he's not allowed to make contact with them. So he chose to go to church again on Sunday, yesterday. The witness, the source tells us that he walks around a lot smiling and as though he has not a care in the world. That was the description, quote, not a care in the world, and appears to be getting a lot of sleep because what else are you going to do, right? You're in max lockup. You have your meals in your cell. You're only allowed outside for an hour a day. So he's getting a lot of sleep. The TV that he has, we are told now, is actually positioned just outside the bars. It's his own TV, and he gets a remote, but it's actually outside the bars of the cell. So he's having to watch his TV through the bars. But we are told that the tablet that he has an app on it. And for 5 cents per minute, he can watch older movies. So you do the math on that and figure out where that money might be coming from, or if he has it, or if he's spending it. But he does have access to older movies on a tablet at 5 cents per minute via that app. We're also told that the pull-up bar and the push-up bar that was located in the library as part of the gym facilities, they've been taken out. We don't know why, but the pull-up and push-up bars have been removed from the library. We're also standing by for the documents. So I just want to remind you that at any moment, if they drop, we're going to get you up to speed on that. As far as the firing squad, we're also told that in Idaho, there is already a group of officials looking into constructing a firing squad facility at a cost of $750,000. Department of Corrections, though, very concerned about trying to get people to act as the firing squad because of the psychological damage it can do to the people who actually hold the guns.
That is very true.
Okay.
Yes.
At this point, I want to show you the 15-second video that Autumn Gonzalez posted on her social media.
Come on, chemical company.
Updating how she's feeling about being living in the wake of the death of her older sister, who she looked up to so much. And if I can run that video, I'm going to read for you what the printing says on it. I can't play the music. It's a copyright issue, but I can show you the video. She says, "Remembering I have an older sister when stuff gets hard, I'll be in denial forever. What about the plans we made?" She's been posting a lot, sharing photos of the two of them together and sharing their online chats as well. And you may remember that they both had an older sister named Olivia who just had a brand new baby. She named Theodora Maddie K. Stevenson in honor of both Maddie and Kaylee. I want to bring in Brian Enton, now our correspondent, who's been at the forefront of the reporting on this story. And we should remind our viewers, Brian, that we are awaiting those documents. Do we have any idea what we're going to get in the document dump? Like what kind of warrants with information and how redacted they're going to be?
We don't know exactly what's going to be in the documents, Ashley. We assume that it'll be search warrants like the last time there was a document dump. We got an indication that the documents might be coming on Friday. That didn't happen. So it's possible they could come tonight. Basically, the judge, we have learned, is signing off on new redactions, that these new documents will come out. But the way the process works, they have to go through the Supreme Court of Idaho's website, and then they get posted there. So it really could come at any moment.
Okay, Brian, the other question I wanted to ask you is about this this new legislation. This is like, it's earth-shattering, it's to think. If Brian Koberger knew any news headlines, of maybe even a newspaper, who knows, the Idaho is going to be that the legislature passed of a firing squad. But take me through the nuances of it and how it could actually come to pass. If Brian Koberger is convicted, it's a death penalty case. If they seek the death penalty, and if it, sentencing goes forward, the jury has to agree, judge has to agree. How could that actually happen? What has to happen for firing squad to kick in?
Well, it's interesting because a lot of people didn't think this. When I was for you one night, we interviewed a lawyer from Idaho who said, I don't think it'll ever get that far. Well, guess what? It's now gotten that far. It's made it to the legislature. All that has to happen now is the governor has to sign off. And the issue here is they've got lethal injection right now in Idaho, but there has been a shortage of the medications that are used for the lethal injection.
Yeah,
Such a shortage that there's been one case where a man was on death row and they've had to delay the execution because they haven't had the medicine. That is why this new bill came up. That is why it has now been passed.
That's what I thought.
If there is a medication shortage and they don't have the medicine they need for the lethal injection, if this gets signed off by the governor, then they can use the firing squad. So, if it makes it all the way through, and if Brian Koberger is sentenced to death, again, a big if, we're just early on in the process. Basically, there would have to be a shortage of that special medicine that they use in the lethal injection, and then the firing squad would come into play.
It's remarkable because that has been one of the reasons so many lethal injections have been put off, executions have been put off, is because of the availability of the drugs. And so now this is the second backup. Looks like it would be instantaneous and there would not be that delay in time. But it's a big question. I think we're going to have to do a lot more conversation about it because it does require a number of people to actually be part of it. Typically, most of them have blanks. One of them doesn't, but nobody knows which one has the blanks. But there's a lot to it. So, Brian Enton, thank you. Appreciate it.
Right? Nobody knows. And Kevin, that's an interesting thought. So, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would volunteer, right? Would you have to start looking at them too? Like, why are you so eager? Oh yeah. Plenty of time. Because you got it with how he's been defiant from the very beginning about his guilt when it comes to this crime. You know damn well he's going to be doing every appeal he can. Every single one. This thing will drag and drag and drag. That's a good question, Cherry Cherry. Yep, drag varied on facility and security level. Oh yeah. It could. Years. All right, we're almost done here. Let me see what we got next.
I have an update for you on Brian Koberger with the Latah County Jail. We've been talking to a lot of inmates and people close to the case, and
I like that background. I like that.
We have found out that in the library, there are plenty of law books. We also have found out that he can take books back to his cell. So as a criminologist, is he reading law books, preparing for his own case? Has he switched from criminologist to wannabe lawyer? fascinating to know, though, that he doesn't get a lot of time out of his cell in the library or rec. So to take those books into the cell means he can keep on reading, even if he's not in the library. Can't always do that at every jail. We also got news this week from University of Idaho. They sent a letter to the parents of the kids who were killed at 1122 King Road with the plans for demo and also for retrieving items. And a lot of people are upset about it because some people think that there should be maybe a jury view opportunity. I want to bring in Lauren Mathias. She's the host of the Hidden True Crime podcast, and Tony Bruschi, who's the host of the podcast Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. This is viewer theories, guys. And so the very first theory I want to throw to is Gina Feddersen from St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, who wants to have a comment about what I just mentioned. So take a look.
Hi, Ashley. In regard to the Brian Kohberger case, I don't feel that the home should be demolished. We should respect the family's wishes, as many of them have come forth in opposition of that. Let's wait until June. Let's see what happens in June, what information is uncovered and shared, and take it a step at a time.
Yeah, more.
So, Lauren, some family members agree, some family members don't agree. What do you think about what Gina has to say?
I think she makes a solid point. I mean, why not wait maybe until the trial? At the same time, though, I think there are so many students that would like to move on, and the idea of perhaps a memorial garden or something that could bring a little bit more peace to the campus might be a good thing for the students.
Okay, Tony, this next one comes from Amber Getze in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and it's actually more of a question, so let's have a listen.
Hi, Ashley. My name is Amber, and I was just wondering, with Brian Kohberger not having much human contact, do you think that Professor Ramsland has reached out to him about a possibility of a book? And do you think that maybe he's agreeing to talk with her? Or do you think maybe he's just waiting, or she's waiting until after the trial?
She's got to wait till after the trial.
Hurts him before then.
What? You don't think she's going to be a witness? Oh, my Lord.
Super interesting. Tony, what do you think? Dr. Ramsland being the famous criminologist. What do you think?
There could be the possibility of the book, but I would imagine at this point, if there is that in existence, that's going to get shut down very quickly, or any proceeds of that book going to the direction of any sort of victims or things of that nature once this gets settled. But there will inevitably be many books about this case at the end of the day. As far as what Kohberger is involved in, I think that's still, kind of up in the air.
All right, I'm going to end with Lisa from East Lansing, Michigan. This is her comment on Kohberger's defense.
NewsNation. Come on, that couldn't have been these couldn't have been the only two comments that people sent in. Come on. Why would you play that? Give us something better.
I think Brian will try and explain away any DNA evidence by saying he was previously in the house for a party, but he'll never admit guilt, even if it becomes completely obvious he did it.
I think that is such a great point. Lauren Mathias and Tony Bruschi, I cannot wait to see what opening statements are in this case, because it's going to be intriguing no matter what. Thank you both for this Friday night appearance, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thanks, Ashley.
We love hearing from you. Do not stop sending us those incredible videos.
Awesome.
In the meantime, there is something that we have been waiting on. The Idaho courts promised us on a Friday night, I don't know, days and days and days ago, that they would drop a big batch of new documents. Yes, there's a gag order. They're trying to walk the fine line and at least drop items of significance that have been cleared. Can't affect.
Okay. She likes to talk a lot. Who is who, Dre? Brian Kohberger, the person we're talking about, or somebody else that was discussing something? And Ava, who's the one you've been waiting for? What the hell? Right? I nominate Kevin on this one. I second that motion. All right, we're almost done with this. I think we are. Well, oh, she's got her closing.
Affect
We won't
the
cut
defense,
her off
can't
yet.
affect the prosecution, can't affect any witnesses. It's the document dump they've been promising for days, and now we are expecting to get it in the next few days, maybe even tomorrow. So coming up after the break, we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then there is also something I want to let you know about with regard to what the parents are asking of the University of Idaho with regard to the home where their children died. And it's pretty interesting and it's profound. And also I'm always sad when I hear about these things. We're back right after this. Welcome back. We are awaiting some of the first new information on the Idaho student murders in quite some time. It is great when there is sunshine. I call sunshine the best disinfectant. When there is a public process and all of a sudden a gag order makes it not so public, we like to know that there is every effort made by public officials to make sure that the public actually does play a part in prosecutions. Otherwise, it's a little like Iraq. You don't want to, really, you don't need to have silent prosecutions in a country that has great jurisprudence. So we're awaiting the big document dump, and we have a team standing by to parse through it and let you know all of the information and affidavits in the Idaho murder case. Not only that, some specific requests that have been made from the parents to the university about some of the items that are still in that home. The university said, let us know if there's anything specific and we will do our best to make sure. Well, now we're finding out a little bit more about what some of those requests are. And then in the Lori Vallow case, we are 1 week.
All right, we're not even talking Lori Vallow. Maybe another night. That was interesting. I needed to be caught up on this a little bit. Hell, it's been months since I even really talked much about that case. So, I mean, I have been saving stuff over time, but I at least wanted to get the rundown with that new special. I guess there's something else coming out tonight too. Not sure what it is. There's supposed to be some other new shit coming out, so I'll be checking the breaking here as we got to keep doing the show here. I'll go ahead and open up panel. If anybody would like to hop in, you're more than welcome. I haven't watched much on it at all. I've just been, with studying so much about that Stephen Smith case, studying so much. I was just like, shit. We'll go ahead and shrink that down a little bit. We'll go ahead and drop the crime scene tape. Okay, Dre, I was saying they were talking, the lady was asking about if there's talks of a book coming out and all this other stuff, and I was saying there's no way, because I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I would think that the professor, the teacher, Dr. Ramsland, would be a witness, right? I think she would be one of the more important witnesses, because you're talking about somebody who teaches what took place. So, and he was a student. So I would assume she would be a witness. Oh, thank you, Ava. I appreciate that. And I want to say a big thank you to Suzanne Andrews as well, because the first few days I really started diving into it. She was gracious enough to come chill on the show and let me interview her and just hear about everything. She definitely deserves some more love. I don't know. I don't think she's getting enough love, and I feel she deserves more love. Because she's done an amazing job. I appreciate that, Ava. I spent so much time on it. I want to thank all the content creators as well that also helped, not only the content creators, but everybody in chat, that we were able to just kind of mix all of these ingredients together and be able to just really make some sense out of it. And I know we haven't done the theories night yet, so stay tuned for tomorrow night. There's a lot. So stay tuned tomorrow night. We'll be getting into the Stephen Smith case again, and we're going to have a theories night. Kevin Kraft, are you off tomorrow night? And Ruckus, if you're available, if you'd like to hop in the show tomorrow night when we talk about Stephen Smith case, I'd be interested to have your opinions and thoughts as well while we go through some of these theories. But yeah, let me know. If any, we're going to have an open panel tomorrow night. And we're going to check out the first couple interviews. We're going to check out the mom's FBI letter or the mom's letter to the FBI. We're going to go through that. I know it's a couple days out there, but I'm a nightly show and I can't be doing it all the time. But we're going to go into a couple updates real quick. Okay. No, it's all good. We'll be talking Stephen Smith in the future too. Honestly, it might end up being 2 nights because there's definitely check out the theories and interviews video that was up a week or 2 ago. And then I don't know, man, like I just got this weird feeling about Mark. And I've been putting it out there for a while. And everybody's just like, it's like, all right. It's whatever. It ain't gonna be the first time somebody went. And then a little bit later, I was like, so I ain't worried about it. I actually laugh with them. I really do. I did watch the episodes on Low Country. I need to watch those, Dre. We'll get into some of that stuff on a different night for sure. There's a lot of stuff. Trust me, I got a lot of stuff. We'll be doing a lot of dedicated shows coming up here. A lot of dedicated shows about certain topics and stuff. Yeah, appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so let's check up some of these updates here. Let me see. Car sheets. Yeah, should Idaho? Here we go. Perfect question. Should Idaho home be demolished before Brian Kohberger trial? And again, if you're not subbed to Ruckus Rocks podcast,
we also got news this week from the University of Idaho. They sent a letter to the parents of the kids who were killed at 1122 King Road with the plans
I didn't
for
read
demo,
it yet.
and also for retrieving items. And a lot of people are upset about it.
Thank you, ATS.
Because some people think that there should be maybe a jury view opportunity. I want to bring in Lauren Matthias. She's the host of the Hidden True Crime podcast, and Tony Bruschi, who's the host of the podcast Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. This is viewer theories, guys. And so the very first theory I want to throw to is Gina Feddersen from St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, who wants to have a comment about what I just mentioned. So take a look.
Hi, Ashley. In regard to the Brian Kohberger case, I don't feel that the home should be demolished. We should respect the family's wishes, as many of them have come forth in opposition of that. Let's wait until June. Let's see what happens in June, what information is uncovered and shared, and take it a step at a time.
So, Lauren, some family members agree, some family members don't agree. What do you think about what Gina has to say?
I think she makes a solid point. I mean, why not wait? Maybe tell the trial. At the same time, though, I think there are so many students that would like to move on, and the idea of perhaps a memorial garden or something that could bring a little bit more peace to the campus might be a good thing for the students.
Okay, Tony, this next one comes from Amber Getze in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and it's actually more of a question, so let's have a listen.
Hi, Ashley. My name is Amber, and I was just wondering, with Bryan Kohberger not having much human contact, do you think that Professor Ramsland has reached out to him about a possibility of a book? And do you think that maybe he's agreeing to talk with her? Or do you think maybe he's just waiting, or she's...
This is the video we came across. This is a video we came across. The freaking question, the one question that they picked, and it's like, come on. Hey, if anybody, okay, if anybody like hears, you know, like wherever it is where they say, hey, send us your questions, let me know the link, please, because I'll send in a freaking question. No doubt. I'll come up with something better than that. Come on. Come on. Oh yes, there was something interesting I wanted to check out. So Truth and Transparency and Crime Circus, we enjoy both their channels. Crime Circus came out with his version, and then Truth and Transparency came out with it after. I think they're friends. I'm pretty sure they're friends. But they both have really good points, so I thought maybe we could check these out too. I always love watching, hell, we always love watching Crime Circus and Truth and Transparency. I might have to check those out. Yeah, check out the theories and interviews on the Stephen Smith series that I did. We'll be doing theories tomorrow night, so if you have any theories and you want to shoot them to us in open panel or in chat, you're more than welcome. We're going to be exploring the theories from this episode. So if you want to check out this episode, get a notebook and a pen, jot down some notes, express what your theory and opinions are, and let us know. We'll be exploring them tomorrow night. Thank you. I appreciate that, Jinx. I appreciate that. Seriously, anybody, tomorrow night, open panel. Write down your theories and thoughts. Bring them to me. Let's hear it. I love every theory, because you just never know. You got to have a great night. I appreciate you hanging out, Ruckus. Thank you. I'll definitely check out more of your channel here in the future. Appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Thanks for joining. Hope to see you. Yeah, love to see you on panel sometime too. Delphi After Dark, huh? Thank you. Appreciate it, ATS. And thank you for a shout out this morning. I sent you a message on the FB. Yeah, scroll up a little bit and see what Jinx is working with. You're good. Trust me, you're good, Jinx. It's chill here. Awesome. Well, I appreciate his company. Yeah, I'd love to have him up on panels sometime. Hell, I'd love to sit. I would love to interview you sometime, if you don't mind. Sit down, hear about you as a content creator, your past, your present, your future, your goals, your passion, your message. I always love hearing people's dreams and goals. Doesn't it make you want to chase yours even more when you hear somebody else's passion and dreams and goals? It makes you think of your own, and you're like, you know what? Plus, you get to hear people's experiences as well. Life is a beautiful thing. So much knowledge out there. And there's not enough time to just get it all. You can grasp until you're no longer here, and you'll still never have everything. It's amazing. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead. This was a response to Crime Circus. Let me go through these other ones real quick. I just want to make sure I'm not missing nothing. It's been so long since we checked this topic out. This might be a good video here, and this isn't going to be a weird, awkward question. Please, if anybody knows when they're asking people for questions to send in, can you guys hit me up and let me know? Email, Discord, Twitter, something, because I will send in a freaking question to NewsNation. I will come up with something better than that. I mean, hell, I would love to ask a question to these people. Give us some facts. Yeah, let's check this out real quick. Could house demolition jeopardize Bryan Kohberger trial? This is from a few days ago. And thank you, everybody, for hanging out. And I appreciate your company. And thanks for checking me out if you're new. You got sold out.
So some of the family members have told me they are very upset with the concept of the demolition taking place before the trial. They are concerned that if the jury wanted to go to the home to take a view for themselves, listen for themselves, look for themselves between rooms, etc., that they won't be able to do that. So several of the family members said that they were concerned about this and that they actually reached out to the prosecutor about it to ask that it not happen. Other family members have said that's not how they feel. So there is a split among the family members about this potential demolition. And I only say potential because a court can always come in and compel. And I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But first, I want to bring in a couple of people who know a lot about how the public is responding to this. Christine Cameron and Alina Smith are the moderators of a very popular Facebook group, University of Idaho.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't realize they were using all these old videos. We'll just go to Crime Circus. We'll just go to the new stuff here. My bad. What the heck? And then that was an awkward interview too, because that lady was like giggling like crazy at the end. I didn't understand that. So this is Crime Circus. I'll go ahead and throw up the channel in the chat. There's that, if anybody would like to hop up. But too expensive. I know. It's like it's crazy when you're spending restaurant prices on fast food, you know? It's like, damn. For $13, I used to get something that came with some real shit. Crime Circus. Bryan Kohberger was the DoorDasher? I don't know how, because yeah, the phone was shut off. So I'm interested to hear what they have to say here. And we won't watch the whole thing. I'll put the link to the video in chat.
Just recently signed up. I'll leave a link down below. Thank you so much. And shout out to Canada too. Sorry, not sorry. With presumed innocent. And any companies mentioned most likely had nothing to do with what happened in Moscow, Idaho. This is a guessing show, folks. And I appreciate you watching. Some of you are going to read between the lines, and I appreciate you for that.
Hey,
now let's
Ponksy.
Proceed with the show and proceed with the boom.
Too pricey.
There's a handful of people out there that believe the DoorDash driver has been cleared. I've spent the last 2 days researching this to make sure I don't make a fool of myself in this video. The DoorDash driver has not been cleared, and I'll prove it. The last thing I would ever want to do is make a fool of myself on YouTube. So I've done a lot of research, a lot of reading, a lot of digging up documents, and a lot of thinking. And now I'm going to share with you my findings. There's a lot of information to cover, and it's all important. So if you're watching right now, don't skip a single second and make sure you make it to the end of this video because it's action-packed with a lot of information and I won't waste your time, so this video won't be too long.
Wow, okay.
First and foremost, let's read the arrest affidavit and see what it has to say for itself about the DoorDash driver.
All right.
This is what it says. Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk both made statements during interviews that indicated the occupants of the King Road residence were at home by 2 a.m. and asleep, or at least in their rooms, by approximately 4 a.m.
Right.
This is with the exception of Kernadel, who received a DoorDash order at the residence at approximately 4 a.m. Law enforcement identified the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. Did you hear what I just said, ladies and gentlemen? I simply read what was in the arrest affidavit. But did you read between the lines and catch what it actually said? I'm going to read the important part one more time. Law enforcement identified the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. Some of you crime junkies out there in the true crime universe may or may not be familiar with...
Well, we always thought that he was the initial tip. I thought that's why he fucking drove up the hill and did the, the fucked up the 3-point turn, all over the fucking place. Oh shit, there's somebody still there. Fuck. Who's getting a DoorDash at 4 a.m? Somebody's still there. Drive by a bunch. I don't know. I'm interested. I need to look up when his car was actually, when they believe the car was actually driving by the location. Was that when the DoorDash driver was there? Or was that after? It's been so long since I covered this. I need to read through the PCA again sometime when we talk Idaho 4. I need to read through that again. Actually, I got a video from before when I read through the whole thing. I always thought he was the initial tip.
Richard Allen from Delphi, Indiana. He's accused of making 2 young women pass away in a horrible way. He was arrested 5 years after the crime, and it turns out he self-snitched on himself immediately after the crime. He came in contact with an officer immediately after the crime and said that he was on the bridge that day. And it turns out he was wearing the exact same clothes as the bridge guy. Nobody was looking for Richard Allen, but he went to the police himself and self-reported that he was on the bridge that fateful day that those 2 girls passed away.
Right. But they should. Because he had to use his app to get for the delivery, his phone probably, because you have to take a picture of it sitting at the door, I think, right? So that thing should be, they just never released it, of course. I just wonder if there's any kind of like, I'm going to have to see if I can find some timelines. And then I can look up some information on the DoorDash. There's got to be something out there where it shows timelines of the... You know what? Hold on a minute. Okay, that doesn't show. We'll throw her channel up there. Here's the link to this photo if you want it, actually. It'll be a better link. Yeah, I remember watching some True Crime Design. I know we just started checking them out recently in the show. I do remember that name. I believe I am subbed to them. This is the picture link if you want it. It doesn't show. Man, I thought there was an animation. Who was it that made that animation? Remember? Where we watched the car That animation. It was when we saw the animation of the Murdaugh murders. What channel was that? Exactly, Jinx. Delphi. 5 months out. Well, yeah, it's just pre-trial. Just a pre-trial. Who made... Do you guys remember what creator we were watching? Van Life? I think it was Van Life. Let me check something real quick. I think it was Van Life Adventures. Let me look them up real quick. I think they had the yeah, because they had the animation of the crime too. Van Life Adventures and open-minded perspective, I think. Yes. Here we go. Oh, she got copyrighted for it. Yeah, here we go. I think this is who it is. I could be wrong. But for some reason this name just popped in my head. Cracks me up how people say I know. Really, honestly, I don't really remember anybody really mispronouncing it. Heard her stuff. Well, I thought she worked on it with somebody else. I thought she said she worked on it with somebody else. Her and a partner or something. I can't remember the person's name, but it was in the Brian Koberger caught on camera. What? Two-part audio found on TikTok. There's a warning on this. True Crime Web, who does duets with that guy? I think it's a lady. It's something along those. I think it is, not BK. Mob Crew. Mob Crew. I've seen their channel come across my stuff too. I'll save that one. If we check it out, we'll check it out at the end of the show. This is an interesting one too. Brian Koberger caught on camera. Well, let me check this out real quick, and then are these animations still on there? Are they not? Oh no. Did they have to be taken down? Oh shoot. Oh, I think so too. Here it is. Here it is, right here. Okay. Holy crap, 35 and 46. What? Yeah, let's see if there's a timestamp on this thing. I'm... Ooh, let me make sure I like it real quick. Okay, is this not what I think it is? Okay, sorry about that. Huh. What happened? Okay, I guess not. Well, I'm gonna look at this real quick, and then we'll just go back to Crime Circus. I thought I was gonna actually be able to show the 3D, and I guess not. Does anybody know where I can find that link? Can you send it to me? If you guys know what I can't remember the other creator's name.
Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Check this out. So not sure if this is Brian Koberger.
Not sure, but it says Brian Koberger.
Or the correct Elantra, but also if you look to your right, you'll see the white truck, which I think I'll zoom out in a minute.
Here's a link to
So he's
this
looking
video.
into the vehicle. Or he's planning to take down a camera.
Mob crew.
He realized that he's under a camera, but I don't have the footage of him getting out of the vehicle.
Thank you.
Or in the vehicle. So I'm not sure if he's just walking up to this vehicle. So you have the white car there, and then you have the white truck on the far right-hand side. But we don't know who this person is, and it very well could be Brian.
Okay. Well, here, let me go back to this Crime Circus episode, and then I'll be looking for that Mob Crew video. Thank you. I appreciate that. If you have the link and you can send it to me, hit me up on Twitter, email, or the Discord DM, please. Otherwise, I'll try and look for it here.
This is actually a super common thing that a lot of criminals do. They will place themselves at the scene, either because fear of cameras or eyewitnesses that will place them at the scene, and instead of the police coming looking for them later, they'll just go to the police immediately, thinking that it will make them look more innocent. But the police aren't that dumb. It's in the detective's book. Criminals return to the scene of the crime, and criminals will self-snitch, and criminals will also sometimes be the first ones to report the crimes to the police. Criminals often like being on the inside of the investigation process, so they implement themselves into the investigation. So the only way that the police even knew that there was a DoorDash delivery, because the DoorDash delivery guy told the police.
Thanks for this.
Anyways, I think you catch my drift, and some of your jaws may have dropped by now. This is not a comedy show. This is serious information in this episode right here. I really do believe Brian Koberger is the DoorDash driver, and we're going to talk about some more information regarding this. Let's see what else I have. A handful of people out there have confusingly thought that the DoorDash driver was cleared. They say this is public information, and we've all known this already. Well, let's check out the official Moscow, Idaho website and see what it has to say for itself.
Good stuff.
Right here on the official Moscow, Idaho website, they've got this entire page dedicated to the horrible crimes that happened on King Road on November 13th. And they have a special section, who is not believed to be involved. When we click it, I'm going to run down this list very quickly about who's not believed to be involved. The 2 surviving roommates, that was Dylan and Bethany. The male in the Grove truck surveillance video. That's been rumored since day one that was Jack Showalter. However, there's a lot of males in the Grove truck video. Private party driver who took Kaylee and Madison home on November 13th. That was rumored since day one that was an Uber driver, but then it changed to apparently it was just a good citizen that just helped out sorority girls and fraternity boys. Any individual at the residence when 911 was called. The individual on the lease who moved out of the residence before the school year started and was not present at the time of the incident. Another girl was on the lease at that home, but she moved out previously in the year. The male or his friend who was thought to be a possible stalker and followed Kaylee into the parking lot of a local business in October of 2021. Or the female associate professor and the chair of the history department at the University of Idaho suing a TikTok user for defamation. Scroll down a little and you can see that the list ends right there. For those of you that don't know, a TikTok user got sued because she was coming up with a bunch of theories on this case, and she stated them as fact. But my wonderful viewers know this is never factual here at Crime Circus. It's a guessing show. And that's the list on the official Moscow, Idaho website. Who didn't you see on that list? You didn't see a DoorDash driver. You didn't see a food delivery driver. You saw nothing of the sort. I'm going to put that list on the screen one more time very briefly, and you're welcome to pause this video and read through it yourself. And you can even go to the Moscow, Idaho website and you can check it out. The DoorDash driver has not been cleared. And that's official information, ladies and gentlemen. So please share this video. I know some of you out there believe in your heart of hearts that Bryan Kohberger is innocent. And he may be, but he might not be either. We just don't know yet. However, what we do know, allegedly, Bryan Kohberger is the DoorDash delivery driver. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Leave a comment under this video. Let me know what you think. Some of you may still not believe it, and that's fine, because we're all entitled to beliefs. And this is my belief. And I'm not always right, but I just try to go where the evidence leads me. Also in the arrest affidavit for Bryan Kohberger, a review of footage from multiple videos obtained from the King Road neighborhood showed multiple sightings of suspect vehicle 1 starting at 3:29 a.m. and ending at 4:20 a.m. These sightings show suspect vehicle 1 makes an initial 3 passes by 1122 King Road residence and then leave via Walenta Drive. So Bryan Kohberger was in the area of the King Road residence between 3:29 and 4:20 a.m.
That's when the DoorDash person arrived. In between that time, right? 4 a.m. Good night, SRB. I thank you for hanging out. Appreciate it. Have a good evening. Yeah, this is what... So between 3:29 and 4:20, I believe the DoorDash was delivered in between that time. Mob Crew. Yeah, I saved some of their videos onto my playlist here. There's a couple short vids I'm going to probably check out in that Stephen Smith episode tomorrow night. We'll have a Delphi night coming up soon. Oh, the one that was going, the one that the silver car one that went in front of the apartment building. That one where they took the thing and put it over the, what do they call that? Ooh, Ava. Cloud-based forensics. Huh. I'm gonna have to look that one up. Interesting. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully the low one feels better. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll be having a Delphi show coming up. That's another one I haven't covered either. And honestly, I mean, I was going to do it Saturday, but things came up this weekend. But the only reason I was doing Idaho 4 tonight was because of the NewsNation special. Otherwise, it would have been a Delphi night. Richard Allen's face would have been on that thumbnail instead. But we'll be saving that. It'll probably be Saturday. Unless anything crazy comes out. Hell, it might even be before that, but I'll definitely give everybody at least a day heads up. You know, because unless something crazy breaking comes out, you know, obviously got to switch it up. But yeah. Oh, wow. 20 minutes. Interesting. If Google that. Yeah, we definitely need a Delphi night. It's been a long time. But might have to go back to some of my old videos and shit. Man, I definitely, if you ever get bored, check out some of the first videos there. I wonder if I put Delphi. I was just learning. I wonder if I even put Delphi in the title. But I know we talked about it. It's been crazy. What a ride. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out tonight. I know it's getting late. We'll be ending the show here in a little bit. Hit up for Delphi, dude. You have a great live. I've heard that name before. That is that the person that because I did it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I did a episode. Here, let me actually go to it. I did an episode. Yeah, right here. So episode 120, Buster no. Here it is, right here. 116. The Stevenson murders and Delphi murders. Is there a connection? Is that the person? Is that the person that was the tip person for this or something? I remember that name. I don't know who it is. I don't know much about that person, but the name. I think I felt like I heard it in this video that I did. Is that right? Were they the tip or whatever? Helped ISP with digital data. Interesting. I'm not worried about, of course I'd love to get to the 1K mark just so I could offer you guys perks and shit with memberships, where you guys get special shit. I'm just worried about the right atmosphere, It's about the air that we breathe in this show. But yeah, I'm wondering that I feel like that name was in that show that I did where I was, is there a connection? Stevenson murders and Delphi murders. That was 3 weeks ago. 395. That's pretty good for my view count there. It was an very interesting though. Very interesting. All right. We'll go back to Crime Circus. Finish this one up, and then we got Truth and Transparency after that, because I got to hear what she has to say too, because I enjoy those videos too. Definitely have to do probably be checking out some of the Mob Crew videos tomorrow. Thanks for the info. Look, I did come across a couple interesting videos. One I'm actually going to check out when I'm at work tomorrow. Hour and a half or something video. Definitely going to check that out at work. Looks real interesting. Thank you. The non-secular angle that made him think possible connection. Interesting. What's up, Kevin Kraft? How you doing, man? Kevin, are you going live after the show or are you working? Weird is his... Okay. That's interesting. I think I seen didn't somebody interview him or something? I thought I seen that thing pop up on my sub list. Maybe it was an interview or something like that. I don't know. Oh shoot, I'm sorry. Sorry, Ava. All right, we'll get back to this video here and then see what else he has to say. That is interesting, though. Let me write that down. 329 to 420. Now, what time was the DoorDash delivery driver there?
Yeah.
Alex has been on a live Ruckus. Oh, cool. I'm going to have to check out Ruckus's one. Let me write that down, too. The episode with Alex on it. All right. So I'll make sure I'll add that to my list that I check out while I'm at work. Thank you. Oh, you're good, Kevin. Thank you.
The DoorDash driver self-reported.
Yeah, Kevin, do you got tomorrow night off? Kevin, you gonna be able to join the theories?
He made a delivery at approximately 4 a.m. The word approximately is important because it keeps getting used inside this arrest affidavit. Everything is approximate. If the DoorDash driver had said exactly what time he made the delivery, it would have looked a little extra suspicious because he would have been a little too detailed. So he most likely said that I made a delivery at approximately 4 a.m. because he knew that he would have been caught on camera in that neighborhood. So we know for certain on the
Wouldn't they find that suspicious instead of like you got it on your phone when the delivery is made? Can you look up the tab on it and check to see when the notification says you made the delivery? 4:04 a.m. I think it would be odd not to be specific to an officer.
morning of November 13th, Brian Koberger was in the area at the exact same time that the door.
I mean, wouldn't you, like, if you were a suspect, wouldn't you want to be like, yeah, I was there at 4:04 a.m. Even if you didn't know what time the crime took place and you had nothing to do with it? Yeah, I was there at 4:04 a.m., sir.
DoorDash driver was in the area at approximately the exact same time that the crime ended up taking place.
Yep.
This really does remind me of Richard Allen from Delphi. He put himself at the scene at the exact same time that the crime happened. A video came out, and it turns out the guy in the video looks exactly like Richard Allen, a 5'4" troll that stole 2 innocent souls and destroyed so many lives. Let's proceed with these documents that I'm holding in my hand right here. I've got a lot of information on this case. The case from Moscow, Idaho. Brian Koberger. Let's check it out. Dylan Mortensen stated she was awoken at approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Goncalves playing with her.
You know what, and I'll do a read-through of this probable cause affidavit sometime when we talk about this case next. We'll do an updated version, because I think the last one I did was like 3 months ago. We'll do an updated version of it, you know, with everybody that's in the show now.
Her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms, which were located on the 3rd floor. A short time later, Dylan Mortensen said she heard who she thought was Goncalves say something to the effect of "there's someone here." A download of Cornado's phone showed this could have been Cornado, as her cellular phone indicated she was likely awake and using the TikTok app at approximately 4:12 a.m.
I'd be wanting to put myself as far fucking away as possible as when the approximate time the murder took place. You know what I'm saying? Like, say the murder took place at 4:12 a.m. and you said approximately, and then they go, Or if I said here, it says right here, 4:04 a.m. See? Right there. I was gone by then.
She was on TikTok. I do wonder if she was watching the Crime Circus TikTok. Probably not, but moving on. The suspect vehicle can be seen entering the area a 4th time at approximately 4:04 a.m. It can be seen driving eastbound on King Road, stopping and turning around in front of 500 Queen Road, 52, and then driving back westbound on King Road. When suspect vehicle 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appeared to unsuccessfully attempt to park or turn around in the road. The vehicle then continued to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road, where it can be seen completing a...
Yeah, because I think he got spooked because the fucking DoorDash driver was there. And DoorDash driver guy could have possibly been sitting in his fucking car or walking up to the back of the thing going, what the hell is this guy doing? He keeps making all these damn turns and shit. What the fuck is he doing? And it's like 4 a.m, so you know it's like, okay, usually there's not even really a car out around here, and this guy's fucking doing 3-point fucked up, can't even do a 3-point turn, zip zop. Where you going? Where you going? Back and forth? That's why I think the DoorDash was the first initial tip that said, yeah, it was a frickin' white 4-door car. And the video of the neighborhood.
3-point turn and then driving eastbound again down Queen Road. Suspect Vehicle 1 is next seen departing the area of the King Road residence at approximately 4:20 a.m. at a high rate of speed. So there's a few different things to discuss with what I just read and what you just heard. They used the word approximately. Let's check out what the word approximately means exactly. According to the dictionary, approximately, used to show that something is almost but not completely accurate or exact, roughly. So when you read what they're actually saying here, the DoorDash driver was approximately there at 4 a.m. Approximately 4 a.m. could mean 5 or 10 minutes before or 5 to 10 minutes after. They know for sure that Bryan Kohberger's car was caught on camera at 4:04 a.m. And I do believe that's why Bryan felt the need to tell the police that he was there at approximately 4 a.m. because he knew he had been caught on camera. He had circled that neighborhood. He knew which houses had cameras. If you think about it, the odds of a random DoorDash delivery driver showing up at 4 a.m. and then Bryan showing up at 4:04 a.m., you have better odds of being struck by lightning 3 days in a row. Or maybe even better odds of winning the $1 billion lotto.
Right?
Keep in mind, Bryan Kohberger was already in the area at 3:29 a.m., approximately. DoorDash was approximately 4 a.m. And when they say approximately, that could have been any time around 4. They know for sure they saw Bryan's car at 4:04 a.m. Do you think there was a little bit of traffic going on at approximately 4 a.m. and Bryan drove by the DoorDash driver? Or is it much more likely Bryan Kohberger was basically the only car on the road at that hour on that street? I think I'm approximately exactly correct. So if Bryan had been driving around that neighborhood for 30 minutes, checking it out, scoping out the area, making sure it was safe to do what he wanted to do, and then he drives by the camera at approximately 4:04 a.m., has some issues parking, and then successfully parks, one could assume that Bryan would end up making contact with the residents at approximately 4:08 to 4:10 a.m. And with Dylan being woken up out of his sleep, Dylan glances at her phone. The first number she sees is a 4, followed by a 0, then maybe a 7, 8, or 9. So when she tells police she was woken up at approximately 4 a.m., because when you tell a story to somebody, you don't say exact specific numbers if you're not sure and you're just woken up out of a sleep. If you wake up and you see it was 4:08, you would most likely tell somebody I was woken up at around 4 a.m. I heard noises at around 4 o'clock. If you were telling somebody in your life a version of events that happened, and you came out of the gate with information like it happened at exactly 4:07 a.m., they'd probably look at you a little weird like, how the heck did you know the exact minute that something happened? Plus, she's 18 years old, so she's not keeping exact track of exact minutes on her cell phone. Next up in the arrest affidavit, it says, the combination of Dylan Mortensen's statements to law enforcement, reviews of forensic downloads of records from Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen's phone, and video of a suspect video as described below leads investigators to believe the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. I'll read that last part again. Leads investigators to believe the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all right there in the arrest affidavit, and we've all overlooked it for so many months. I know some of you out there with a high IQ knew this from the very first day. It was the DoorDasher. They believe the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. But Bryan wasn't caught on camera until 4:04 a.m. Do you see what they're saying inside of this document, ladies and gentlemen? It's all right there and we missed it. But we're not missing it anymore because I'm presenting it right here. This is important information and it makes the whole case make sense. We were too distracted with the multiple Jacks, hyper-focused on Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, wondering is Jack Showalter really in Africa? We were all wondering what was said to Adam. And still to this day, a lot of us are wondering. However, it's right here in the arrest affidavit. They believe the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. But if Bryan wasn't caught on camera until 4:04 a.m., why would they say at about 4 a.m.? Why would they list 4 a.m. and not a few minutes after 4:04 a.m. when he was actually still in his vehicle? And why would they list 4:25 a.m. if his vehicle is actually seen leaving the scene at a high rate of speed at 4:20 a.m.? Certainly at the time that this arrest affidavit was written, they had checked out the camera box, the security network, and they made sure that the timestamp on that video was 100% correct. At approximately 4:17 a.m., a security camera located at 1112 King Road, a residence immediately to the northwest of 1122 King Road, picked up distorted audio of what sounded like voices or a whimper, followed by a loud thud. A dog can be heard barking numerous times starting at 4:17 a.m. The security camera is less than 50 feet from the west wall of Kernodle's room. A quick reminder on the layout of the house. Check this out on the screen right here. Here was Xana's room. She was in there with her boyfriend, Ethan. He's another victim in this case. We still have more information to talk about on DoorDash, but this is an open challenge for any doubters that are watching this. If you don't think that Bryan Kohberger is the DoorDash driver, leave me a comment down below with what kind of car the DoorDash driver was driving and what his or her first name is. I'll let you know right now you can't win that challenge because Bryan Kohberger is allegedly the DoorDash driver. And there's a gag order on this case right now. That's why you don't know who the DoorDash driver is. People have been focused on Enon, multiple various creepy neighbors, Dylan Mortensen, Bethany Funk, so on and so forth. But who do you think the DoorDash driver is? If he was there at the exact same time frame that the police say the homicides occurred, you put 2 and 2 together, it equals 4, and it makes it so crystal clear. Bryan is the DoorDash driver. Because if he's not, that means somebody else was there at the exact same time that these homicides occurred. So the simplest answer is he is the DoorDash driver. You may be wondering why we don't know this for sure. You may be wondering why this isn't public knowledge until this video right here. The fact is, DoorDash is $1 billion company. And if it was revealed that a DoorDasher committed the worst quadruple homicide in recent times, that could potentially bankrupt their business and put them out of business forever. I believe it's been a cover-up to save the reputation of the company, and because of the gag order, nobody can even really talk about it that actually knows about it for sure. Ask yourselves, why is there a gag order in this case? The families don't want there to be a gag order. Court proceedings are supposed to be public records. If they have the right guy in custody, there really should be no secrets. It shouldn't be such a big deal to find out who was the DoorDash driver. Well, I know, it was Bryan Kohberger. And now we all know. How many cases have you heard about that actually have a gag order? It's really not that common. It's also been reported that Bryan Kohberger's cell phone pinged in the Moscow area approximately 12 times between August and November. And one time they say it pinged there, but he wasn't even there. And that's just how cell phone pings work. You can be in a different location, and if one tower is overloaded, your cell phone will ping off a different tower even if you're not in the location. So it's not exactly reliable science, and many defense attorneys have hired experts that have shredded that information in court. So not so reliable one way or the other. If he was stalking these girls from Ed Greek, you would think he'd probably have 40, 50, or even 60 cell phone pings in the area, if he was that obsessed. If it only pinged 12 times, he may or may not have been stalking them, but that doesn't seem too obsessive. He could have just been making DoorDash deliveries to Moscow. So obviously, from the very first day, the police were aware of the white Hyundai from the DoorDash driver. However, when they told us, the public, about the white Hyundai Elantra, they told us the wrong year intentionally, because they didn't want to spook Bryan Kohberger, the DoorDasher. So they told us to look out for 2011 to 2013. Come to find out, Bryan Kohberger was actually in a 2015. You've got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, the police, the FBI, the world's greatest minds were working on this case behind the scenes. They had an entire team of specialized criminal behavioral psychological profiling agents. All kinds of important people looking into this. If they had revealed that they were looking for the exact car that Bryan Kohberger was in, they knew that that would have spooked him. At that point, he would have known that he was a prime suspect, and he would have destroyed evidence, and he would have had a chance to make the case against him harder to convict him. This was an advanced cat and mouse game, and we, the public, weren't privy to what was going on behind the scenes in those agents' offices. The DoorDash driver came forward, which was Bryan Kohberger. They knew at that point what kind of vehicle he drove. couple weeks later, they tell us to look for a similar vehicle, but not the exact vehicle, but they already knew it was the exact vehicle. And then they revealed the cover story within the arrest affidavit that a patrol officer at Washington State University just randomly came across Brian Koberger's car, and that's how he got on the radar. But that's just not 100% accurate because he was already on the radar. They already knew about him. I've read the arrest affidavit 1,122 times. I've read between the lines. I've looked up definitions of words just to make sure I truly understand their meanings. And now we've all learned officially what approximately means. And some of you already knew that, but I just wanted to make sure. And for those of you that didn't know, now you know. I'm always researching true crime behind the scenes. But right now, I am focused on Moscow, Idaho, and Brian Koberger, and the 4 innocent people that lost their souls. Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, and Xana. R.I.P. That's why I do this show, for the victims. Some of you out there might be wondering, how did this even happen in the first place? How did he come upon these victims? I have a theory, and I'm going to share it. Xana and Maddie worked at a restaurant called Mad Greek. This is what it looks like. You can see in this image right here, they're on DoorDash. This is a very popular restaurant in that small town, and certainly Brian Koberger would have made his way to that restaurant multiple times. Clearly, at some point, Brian Koberger had come in contact with Maddie and Xana, and he became infatuated, obsessed. He just had to have what he couldn't have. He wanted them, he needed them, he couldn't have them. He was crushed, rejected. He had made it 28 years on planet Earth in Pennsylvania, and allegedly never harmed anybody, but I'll be covering that in an upcoming episode. I will investigate other crimes in Pennsylvania, and we will see if he harmed anyone. We do know when he was in the Pullman, Washington / Moscow, Idaho area, he allegedly committed one of the worst brutal homicides with a knife in modern times within 3 to 4 months of moving there. So something about these girls set him off. Was Brian Koberger an incel? Yes. Yes, he was. Did he have the Elliot Rodger Manifesto in his bedroom with page 118 underlined? Most likely not, because that was not a real book. That was just a PDF, and that was on the internet. It sounds like investigators confiscated an actual book. Did he print it off on a printer? Maybe, but then it's not really a book. That's just printed papers. Anyways, that's got nothing to do with this episode right here. That's my previous episode, The Search Warrant. Thank you so much for watching this episode, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back again soon, as I always am. Maybe episode 11, maybe an interrogation. We'll see what's coming next. I'm going to be talking about other people in this case, just like I promised. That's coming. But for now, this was the DoorDash episode, just like I promised. A very quick reminder. We're almost at 1,000 followers on Facebook. I'm brand new to Facebook. But once we hit 1,000 followers, I'm going to start doing live chat premieres on Facebook. Also, I've been getting quite a few Patreon signups lately. Thank you so much. Your support goes a long way with this show. I'll leave the link to my Patreon down below, or you can become a YouTube member. Either way, I appreciate you. Thank you.
That's cool. I appreciate this channel. Good content. And I've actually thought about maybe trying to introduce Twitter Spaces on an evening or something where we just hang out and talk about whatever cases are out there and such, and maybe streaming that where it's just a Twitter space. I don't know. So much to cover on all these cases. We're going to go to Truth and Transparency next. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and end the show with that one video with the audio warning. I do want to check that video out as well. So I'll give out a graphic warning heads up. And then that way, if nobody's comfortable, you can go ahead and skip ahead. But I'll put it at the end of the show. That way, nobody has to worry about coming back, if they want to skip out on that part. So we'll go ahead and check out Truth and Transparency's video next. Now, this is how she feels it wasn't DoorDash. Not DoorDash driver. And thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I appreciate you tonight. Theories tomorrow night. Stephen Smith. I love the production on these videos. A little loud. Great content from Crime Circus and from Truth and
I fully believe in my heart of hearts it's Brian Koberger, the DoorDash driver, and we're gonna all say for itself about the DoorDash driver. This is what it says. Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk both made statements during interviews that indicated.
By the way, about your comment about the tulips, that reminded me the last time we talked about this, we want to kind of do what we did for that little girl in Wisconsin where we sent birthday cards on her last birthday. I would like to get together and all of us get some of those tulips, and we can plant them wherever, and we can take pictures and send them in, and so that way, you get to order them, you get to have the flowers, you get to put them wherever, and then we can have updated pictures of everybody's tulips that we can show. I just so I know we were waiting on a link or something, or a website was supposed to be made or something, but I think it's been long enough. Maybe it hasn't, but I feel like it's been long enough where there should be that website up. So yeah, I would like us all to round up together and I'll purchase some tulips, and we all take some photos and just share it, just like we do with the pets and the babies. Beautiful thing. Everything we care about. It's a beautiful way to honor him. Yes, I wish there was a way I could get. She's pretty busy. Yeah, we there was when was that, guys? I think it was November. Yeah, it was November. It was like my first month of doing the show. We all rounded up together and sent birthday cards. I was just coming, it was on a local news. I get a lot of the stuff from local news too. And it was just something that came across on my subscription feed, and I was like, you know what? I need to show this one night. And we just, such a sad story. She had a brain tumor. And she got to make it through Christmas. But unfortunately, she passed away shortly after the New Year. But I thought it was really cool. We all sent her birthday cards and such. Not even knowing who we are, but it was so cute too, because the mom, wherever the birthday cards came from, the mom was putting up pegs of where they came from. And the thing was that the video really wasn't getting out there that much. So a lot of those pegs were from the local areas and stuff, but with us, she had pegs from everywhere. It was beautiful. And can you imagine, like, what's more precious than that little girl seeing, oh my gosh, people from all the way over here and all the way over here, Mom sent me birthday cards, Priceless and precious. Aw. That poor little soul. Sorry about that. Back to this video.
Approximately 4 a.m. This is with the exception of Kernodle, who received a DoorDash order at the residence at approximately 4 a.m. Law enforcement identified the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. Did you hear what I just said, ladies and gentlemen? I simply read what was in the arrest affidavit. But did you read between the lines and catch what it actually said? I'm going to read the important part one more time. Law enforcement identified the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. Some of you crime junkies out there in the true crime universe may or may not be familiar with Richard Allen from Delphi, Indiana. He's accused of making 2 young women pass away in a horrible way. He was arrested 5 years after the crime, and it turns out he self-snitched on himself immediately after the crime. He came in contact with an officer immediately after the violence video. That's been rumored since day one that was Jack Showalter. However, there's a lot who took Kaylee and Madison home on November 13th. That was rumored since day one that was an Uber driver, but then it changed.
All right, so number 1, they don't mention the DoorDash at any time during the investigation, meaning November 13th to the time that Brian Kober is arrested. The only time we hear about the DoorDash or anything like that happening that evening or early morning hours is when the PCA is released. So therefore, they are not going to publicly clear anybody that nobody knows about. Number 2, Brian's phone was not on during the possible order time, but for sure not on during the drop-off time. Meaning, Brian needs his phone on to utilize the driver app side of things. So first, he needs that on to be able to accept a delivery, which is all random. When you accept and get called. Called upon to deliver somewhere, you don't know where you're going until you accept the delivery. Number 3, Brian's phone. So first, he needs that on to be able to accept a delivery, which is all random. When you accept and get called upon to deliver somewhere, you don't know where you're going.
Damn, I was on
the
mute.
delivery.
That sucks. I don't know why I was on mute. I was saying, shit, what was I saying? Oh, I was saying, what other way could you do DoorDash? I mean, you would have to have a second phone because your phone was shut off 5 minutes after you pulled out of your parking lot at your apartment on that first road that connects Pullman and Moscow. It's like 5 minutes after he pulled out, it got shut off. So do people normally have a separate phone or tablet for DoorDash? That's not their phone because you can't take a phone call when you're running DoorDash or something? I don't know. I never did the DoorDash thing, so I don't know. Can you take phone calls when you're doing a DoorDash on the same device? Do most people use their main mobile phone to do the DoorDash? If anybody knows, let me know. I've never done it. I'm interested. I would just assume people use their main phone for the DoorDash, and you could take calls like you can do when you're using, Google Maps, going from one location to another, right?
15th to the time that Brian Kober is arrested.
Sorry.
The time we hear about the DoorDash or anything like that happening that evening or early morning hours is when the PCA is released. So therefore, they are not going to publicly clear anybody that nobody knows about. Number 2, Brian's phone was not on during the possible order time, but for sure not on during the drop-off time.
Oh, thank you.
Meaning,
I appreciate
Brian
that.
needs his phone on to utilize the driver app side of things. So first, He needs that on to be able to accept a delivery, which is all random.
Battery might have died.
When you accept and get called upon to deliver somewhere, you don't know where you're going until you accept the delivery.
I mean, it's true. The battery could have died, but would, like, if you're going to leave for the evening, wouldn't it be sitting on the charger before you go? I think it was deliberately shut off so he could hide his location. Because it didn't come back on until 45 minutes after the crime supposedly took place, and it came back on going south of Moscow, and it kind of did a loop around after the phone came back on. Because when he went there, it went from... Here, let me pull up a Google map real quick. Yeah, see this? All right. So when BK left, right? He shut his phone off right around this location. Okay? So it might have been 3 to 5 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes. So he shut his phone off around this location, right? Then does his thing. And when it comes back on down here. But this is what's odd, Kevin Kraft. He goes from here and drives let's get rid of this. Comes back on here, drives down here, through Uniontown, up through Colton, through Chambers, and the long way home. Like the long fucking way home. Watch. Let's add Uniontown in there. Add a destination. Okay. Add a destination. Okay. Now we're going to get rid of this destination. Add another destination. Oh, it's not giving us the south one. Here, let's go. Fuck it. Get rid of it. All right, so you got 41 miles. You got 41 miles, or 41 minutes, okay? From there to there. Then we're going to add this, get rid of this one. Get rid of this one. So, you're talking an hour. You're talking an hour when if you would have went the regular way home, you're talking 15 minutes. I think the dude ditched something on this joyride because this is where I'm coming from. This is where I'm coming from. If you committed those crimes, think about it like this. If you committed those crimes, why in the hell are you going to take a trip 4 times as long? Number one. And number two, why are you going to take a trip when you could skeet through here with nothing much but maybe some troopers sitting off to the side? Why, if you committed these crimes, would you take a chance going through small town where you know at 4, 5 in the morning there ain't shit going on except your car rolling through that town? Another small town where there ain't shit going on but your car rolling through that town. Another small town where there ain't shit going on but your car rolling through that town. You're telling me that if there's no reason for you to come down here other than a scenic route joyride, you're going to put yourself in that position where you're running through them small towns where you're probably the only fucking car driving through, instead of fucking skeeting up onto a fucking back road onto the fucking the little teeny route that can get you back home? You're crazy. Something. There's a reason. Who knows? Maybe it was a co-committer. He had to drop him off. I don't know. Maybe that's where he ditched his freaking his covering. Maybe that's where he ditched a knife. Why in the hell would you put yourself in those positions through those small towns where you could get pulled over at any freaking second because you're the only car going on, unless you could be on this highway driving next to two cars? Quick, home. I'm back home. I'm safe. I can clean up. I can stitch up. I can bandage up. I can settle. Instead, you're going to take an hour drive? I don't know. It just don't make sense. Sorry about that little Google spiel. I do love my Google. All right, back to this episode, Truth and Transparency.
Number 3, Brian's phone, according to law enforcement, was in either airplane mode or it was completely turned off between 2:47 a.m. and 4:40 a.m. on November 13, 2014, thus making it impossible.
Yeah, he was out all night. He was out all night.
Connection with the quote-unquote driver app.
And he even went to the damn grocery store the next day. Why? Because the shopping's better. That's what he said.
To pick up the order and to drop off the order, as it is GPS tracking the entire time, and your movements are completely tracked.
Oh, nice, Trey.
At this time, that time.
Awesome.
This device,
thank you,
could not have been the one used for the DoorDash.
When suspect vehicle 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appeared to unsuccessfully attempt to park or turn around in the road. The vehicle then continued to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road, where it can be seen completing a 3-point turn and then driving eastbound again down Queen Road. Suspect vehicle 1 is next seen departing the area of the King Road residence at approximately 4:20 a.m. at a high rate.
I believe that mess was the DoorDash driver, because approximately could be after 4 a.m.
Right.
Just as much as before 4 a.m.
Thank you.
But I believe all of that talk in the PCA about a car making a 3-point turn, turning around, trying to park, that's your DoorDash driver.
Right.
Santa received a DoorDash.
That's not your DoorDash driver. That was BK. What are you talking about?
Receive a DoorDash.
That's why he did it, because he's like, oh shit, something I didn't expect.
At 4 a.m., approximately 4 a.m., would need a paper trail on that. And that would require the app to be fully functioning, which would not have been possible through Brian Kohlberger's phone, as his phone was off, and that would have needed Wi-Fi to do that. So even being in airplane mode would not allow Brian Kohlberger to complete the entire transaction through DoorDash on the driver app side.
Right.
Brian Kohlberger would have had to come out of airplane mode to complete the transaction if he was in fact the DoorDash driver working for DoorDash with that device.
No.
And that device never comes back on, or those towers. That device is off.
Okay, I have a question though. You can get a burner phone that can do that though, right? Because this is why I'm asking. Because okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm going back in my brain, is it not true that the DoorDash that was, quote, Zayna was not the normal DoorDash account that Zayna used, and there was no card number associated with the DoorDash order. The DoorDash order, there was no account card associated with it. It had a $50 upload from a gift card. Now, do I think the possibility of BK using a burner phone to create a fake DoorDash account with the name of Zaina and uploading a $50 gift card on it, so that way there's actually no freaking tie back to him and he can place the DoorDash order, so that way the DoorDash person is the person that everybody's looking for? I don't think he was the DoorDash delivery. Do I think he was the DoorDash orderer? Let me know if you know any information about the DoorDash account that ordered the DoorDash. Because I think, if I'm remembering correctly, gift card, not the normal Zaina account used for DoorDash.
Off, or at least in airplane mode, as the law enforcement says, until 4:48 a.m.
And gentlemen, it's all right there in the arrest affidavit, and we've all overlooked it for so many months. I know some of you out there with a high IQ knew this from the very first day. It was the DoorDasher. They believe the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. But Brian wasn't caught on camera until 4:04 a.m. Do you see what they're saying inside of this document, ladies and gentlemen? It's all right there and we missed it. But we're not missing it anymore because I'm presenting it right here. This is important information.
I mean, it'd be a good alibi, you know what I'm saying? If you're because what I think took place is, let's see, where? Oh, it's been so long. It's right here. All right. I think dude parked up here. What I'm thinking is dude was up here creeping through the back window. Because really, you look at the satellite, right? Look at this. Oh, come on. What are you doing? This is what you're giving us? All right. Here's the sliding glass door right here. It's so damn dark back here at night. You could sit 10 feet back from that sliding glass door and not see shit while you're hiding in there. He could have easily placed that frickin' dummy DoorDash so that there's an alibi for somebody else being there. He could have waited for the frickin' DoorDash. It's an apartment full of different people. Oh, shoot. Somebody ordered the DoorDash. I mean, why wouldn't he call it if that's what? Because who in the frick? 4 a.m. I don't know. I'd like to know more information if that was Zaina's real DoorDash account and if it was just uploaded with money and not associated with the credit card, because I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Let me know, please. I'd like to know.
The PCA is designed to get the person arrested that law enforcement believes committed the crime. So why not put in the PCA that Brian told us he was the DoorDash driver? Or why not talk about the type of car the DoorDash driver was driving to show the big difference in cars, and that the DoorDash driver identified his arrival and departure from cameras? Why would none of that be talked about in the PCA if it bulks up the arrest probable cause of Brian Koberger? They have to tread very lightly over that portion about the DoorDash driver. And in my opinion, it's not because it's Brian Koberger. It's because there's another person there at the same time of the crime. I, for one, appreciated this video done by Crime Circus, and it did make me think today. And his video actually proves that Brian Kober did not use his phone that evening if he in fact was the DoorDash driver. But that phone was not used. Do I believe Brian Kober is a DoorDash guy? No. Could he be? Possibly, but it would not be with that phone number that he was DoorDashing with. Until next time, to the transparency. Thank you, Crime Circus Drip Drop. Appreciate your video. We'll see you soon.
I love the production. Yes,
Richard
PS.
Allen's PCA mentions how Richard Allen put himself at the area of the crime scene during the time of the crime. Brian's PCA would have done the same thing if Brian did what Richard Allen did. If Brian would have said that he put himself at or near the crime scene around the time of the crime, that would undoubtedly be in the PCA. And it's just simply not. And it's not to hide that. It's because, in my opinion, Brian Kober never told anyone. In fact, especially not law enforcement, that he was anywhere near the crime scene at or around the time of the crime.
That is true, because as soon as he was arrested, he said he looked forward to being exonerated as soon as possible. Love the production. I love the music in those videos too. I need some shit with some thunderstorms in the background. A light sound of thunder rolling through the skies. CJ, dude, what you're saying is definitely possible. You know, then somebody else is blamed. You go ask the neighbors, yeah, I saw a car coming and pulling. I've actually seen a car coming and pulling up at the house at around the time you say the crime took place. Everybody's looking for the DoorDash guy. DoorDash guy comes in, getting interrogated. What do you know about it? I don't know nothing. You were there. Don't lie to us. Down the rabbit holes. It's all good. It's all good. I appreciate it. I got the information. I wanted to know when the car was reportedly being there. You know, we'll read through the affidavit in the future so, because I do need to kind of read it and kind of go through it again mentally. And we have a lot more people in here as well, so I'd definitely love to hear their opinions while we're doing a quick read through of it. It's only like, I think, 7 pages or something. I'm telling you, I want that shit. I could probably have it. I don't like how, like, when you do the I guess maybe I need to get a green screen or something, because I did a thing where it's got like the virtual background on StreamYard, and it looks cool, but it's a weird morph around, you know, because it's a green screen, so I don't know, it's weird to me. But I don't know, I love my coffee light, and I need to get a Evil CJ show signed and stuff like that, and I like these little weird ass animations. I don't know what the fuck that was. I should think about just putting that damn thing on my wall instead of leaving it sit there. All right, we're going to go into this video. So this is going to be a graphic warning. So if I put a bug in... You know, it'd be cool with some old school beats, you know, some deep beats. But yeah, that's what I love. Thunderstorms, like, that's my favorite. I could sit outside, not the rain part, so I shouldn't say thunderstorms. What do you call it? Just the thunder, you know, where you can hear just over, like not like it's right above you, but you can hear it, but then you also hear it like 10 miles away and shit, you know. I love sitting out on on summer nights and just chilling out, watching all the clouds move around and hearing the thunder kind of crackle through the distance and shit. I love thunderstorms. It's so peaceful. And then you mix nature with it, and it's just a beautiful thing. Don't forget to thank you, Dre. Appreciate that. Aw, Liberty. What's up, darling? Kevin. Irish, you could stream that. Oh, yeah, that would be cool, Kevin. And I definitely got to hit up that short video up there and hit a thumb on that and share it on the community tab. I'll put a community tab post out too. So that way, if nobody's in the show, they'll still see the community tab and they'll go hit the like. Because, man, that shit, you deserve to have that thing blow up for the pain that you endured for it happening, man. So fingers crossed for you, buddy. I hope it helps your channel out, man. All right, so it's going to be a graphic warning. So if it's going to be graphic for you, please. Good night. Hope to see you tomorrow. We'll be doing, unless there's anything crazy breaking, I'm planning on doing the theories. Because, you know, I've been planning on doing the theories for a week now and different shit's popped up. So, but we're going to go ahead and check this video out and then we're going to end it for the evening. This is Van Life Adventures, an open mind perspective, but has a different YouTube handle, but I have it up there on the screen. Thank you everybody for hanging out tonight. I appreciate you and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Definitely check out the theories. I'll throw the links up here while we're watching this. Definitely check out the interview with Suzanne Andrews. She needs more love. And I'll throw out the link to the theories and interviews episode that we did. And if you're able to come back tomorrow night and you want to share your thoughts and opinions on whatever theory you think exists, whether it's your own or something that was maybe from one of our theories that we explored that evening with the interviews, very interesting. The interviews are interesting as well. But yeah, if you want to share it tonight, go ahead and hop on in. I'll have an open panel all night. I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, we're going to check out this video. I just wanted to make sure everybody that wasn't able to be comfortable was able to bounce before we get into this. Thank you so much. I appreciate your guys' company and your support.
This is now war right now.
Oh.
This is now war right.
Holy shit, that's loud. Okay. Here's the video, or the link to this video. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and continue to play it. I don't know why it's so loud here. And if you want to see, they have like a closed caption of what's being said. If you... It's a tough video.
This is now war right.
Intelligent. And that must have been the TikTok driver dropping off the delivery.
So according to what I'm hearing, and if you can listen closely, the murder happened downstairs first. There was no sneaking in through the sliding door. You can tell that Ethan and Xana were attacked first, and you can hear them running up the stairs, chasing the two girls that end up in the room together. So they were not asleep in the same bed. They just died in the same room that they locked themselves into.
Wow. Damn. But that's all speculation. Just so everybody knows, I'll go ahead and go back to that part in the video. Whoop. And I put the link in chat. But this is alleged audio from the 1122 King Road murders. None of this has been confirmed. The audio might be disturbing. The audio is disturbing. But that's what comes with these true crime cases. Sometimes we have to discuss, explore, or conversate about some of those things. Even all those horrific crimes against the children of the world. So I want to say thank you for everybody for hanging out. I appreciate you. Be back tomorrow night. Hit the like if you haven't yet. Yeah, it's awful. That was definitely graphic, right? So if you want to check it out for yourself, there's the link. I'm sure it'll probably be easier for you to hear it on your own audio and actually see it on your own screen too. So thank you for all your guys' help and your conversation and your thoughts and opinions and your company. I appreciate it. Be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. And I'll be throwing those links as I end the show. I just wanted to focus on that audio real quick. But I will be throwing the links out there, theories and interviews, if you want to check it out and come back with some. Thank you. I appreciate that, Jinx. Thank you for being the new sub and hanging out. Thanks for all your comments, too. Appreciate it. Yeah, definitely check this out if you want to come back tomorrow night with some theories. The Suzanne Andrews, check the links out. Support her. This lady's not getting enough love. And she needs it. Yes, we'll be going into the series tomorrow night. Fingers crossed. Let's hope so. Nothing crazy fucking happens, because then that's not good news, you know. So let's hope for the good news, and let's hope that tomorrow night we can finally get to that episode. Thank you, everybody, so much. I appreciate you. Hope you have a peaceful and positive evening. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Squad, they should be without Robert, just 1911 and so on. 10-4, thanks. Okay, 1910 and 1971, I'm going to log you all off. You have the Roberts attached to it.